In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Roca and Matt Nost are here to bring you the top 10. Take it away, boys. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Top 10 Show. I am John Roca.
And I am Matt Nost, and we're here to bring you a little bit of joy, a little bit of respite, a little bit of take a break from the craziness of the real world with us two jackasses as we talk about movies.
Yeah, something as important and vital to people's lives as movies, and they really are, and probably even more so now than they've ever been. People are turning to movies for solace and comfort and escape and what have you, right there in the comfort of their home. Some people are going out and venturing onto the theaters, but most of you are probably at home reacquainting yourself with some of the classics or some of the great movies from your collection that you love, or maybe discovering some new ones that are available on all the streaming services that have dropped. I'm telling you, man, these streaming services, there is so much movies to watch. There is a lot of content. People complain, oh, there's no new content. Maybe not as much as you would like, but there's so much content already. And I'm sure most of you who have multiple streaming services have like queues that are 100 to 200 titles long because there's so many movies you haven't gotten to yet, or some of the movies you've seen before that you would like to see again. So now's the time.
I know you have at your fingertips. You legitimately can find almost any movie that's ever been made.
Yeah, right.
So long as you search for the streaming service, pay for it on some, platform. It's crazy. You have access to every movie by and large that's ever been made.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty, I know. We all complain that there's nothing, there's not that much new, or shit, my theater experience has been kind of ruined for the time being and all that. But yeah, there's also several thousand movies you've never seen, legitimately.
Yes. Yeah, right. Being honest with yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there are. It's, as many movies as you and I have seen, there's still movies that you haven't seen.
Yes. Yeah. So some classics that I haven't seen that I have to find my way back to. Yeah.
Some are by design. Some are just, they fell through the cracks through no overt action on your part. It happens. So quit your bitching, people. That's what we're saying.
That's what we're trying to get to see.
Yeah.
How are things going for you, man? How's been your week? What's going down? Anything new to report? Anything exciting going on in your world?
No, just doing a little stretching right this second.
There you go.
Shoulder's been hurting me this week, but I think I just slept on it wrong, type of old man injury.
Right.
I've played Frisbee golf 3 days this week.
Wow. Is that a social distancing thing?
It's something I can just go out and do on my own if I want to.
Okay.
I could, I don't know if any of my friends here actually play, because before this week, I hadn't played in like 3 or 4 years. And that time was the first time I couldn't tell you the last time I played before that. So it's not like I used to play all the time when I was younger in high school and stuff.
Right.
But I still have the discs, and I'm just like, I'll go out. And I found 3. It's something you can do. The weather's, gotten nicer. So you can actually get outside and fucking do something.
Are there courses that you can play this on?
Yeah. What it is, you said it's golf rules. So it's a par 3, a par 4. It's rare to find a par 5, at least around here.
Yeah.
And then you're just throwing the disc. You're navigating obstacles. Sometimes some courses have water hazards. But usually the bigger hazards are like you're throwing it through trees, or you have to go around a bend.
Yeah.
Okay. Chavez Ridge is a motherfucker. So it's up in Elysian Park where Dodger Stadium is, right?
Yes, yeah.
And it's on a ridge. So if you don't play it, like I had to play conservatively, I ended up like 2 over par. Not bad considering at one point I went to do a putt, and because of the fucking incline of the hill, it started rolling. It's a damn Frisbee. So I had to run after it and whack it with another Frisbee that I had. Otherwise, it would have gone down this 250-foot ravine. And it's just like, it's not worth the $9 to go down and search for who knows how long until I find it. Even though they're bright colors, that's why they make them bright colors. You can find them in foliage. Still, it's just not worth it.
No, and it's like a lot to, I mean, you might find a bunch of them too. So maybe you'll find a bunch of them, and then you'll be like when you go hunting for golf balls in the water, you're like, oh, I got 500 of those things now from going in there. Yeah.
You're more apt to give up on a golf ball though, because
true
ball you get boxes at a time. You can buy range balls. Like it's losing those is par for the course. I think I've only ever lost one disc. It's much rare. It was also the only one that I ever had that was gray.
Yeah.
And I learned that lesson on that disc. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just buying bright. I got a bright orange one and I got a bright yellow one.
Yeah.
And then my putter's like this off-white. But it's a putter, so it's always you never lose a fucking putter.
True.
You just go out and I got a driver. I got basically the equivalent of like a 6-iron.
Oh, nice.
And then my putter's like basically the equivalent of a wedge.
Okay.
It's not quite a putter, but it's good for in close and whatnot. And it's good enough for a putter.
Right.
So I just go out. And those are my 3 quote unquote clubs. And you can do it by yourself. We used to go out in groups of like anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 of us.
Right.
But
just hang out and do it.
Yeah. You're just walking around. You play 18, sometimes play 36 and spend a couple hours walking around outside instead of, whatever the fuck else you're going to do.
Yeah, true. I got to make myself go out, man. Honestly, because, I do so many of the shows that I'm just like, whenever I'm out of this room, I'm working on the next show or the next thing. And I'm in the room, in the living room, sitting on the couch, like working on the fucking computer. And by the time the day is over, and the last thing I want to do is go out and try to do any kind of anything. And so we're trying to make ourselves go walk again at night, or at least, after 6. When everything's done, but it's not always easy, man. I don't know what it is, man. I'm just I've become sedentary, man. I'm getting old. I've just become sedentary and it's bad for me. I got to figure out, what to do. So I applaud the fact that you're making yourself go out there and play and do some kind of physical exercise, man. Yeah.
Something, man. I've put on, probably like 10 pounds since this all started.
Ditto, bro. Ditto. It's disgusting.
It's not as though I'm eating somehow way worse. It's just I'm not getting the physical exercise, and I'm still eating the same amount.
Right.
So I just need to do something.
It's like taking steroids and not working out. You're just like, I just keep packing it on. Like, where's this all gonna go?
I don't need to do this anymore because you don't have the complimentary part. I just need to not eat as big of portions as I do. That's it.
Yeah. That's
and
tough,
we have dessert in the house now every fucking night, and it's tough not to say yes to dessert. I love dessert. I love sweets, man.
I love lamb. I love dessert.
I love lamb. I love dessert. I like them so many different ways, and we've had all kinds of different stuff.
Oh, man.
I know. So thankfully, this joint. Did you ever go to John and Vinny's on Fairfax?
Sure. Been there a few times.
Their cookies are
man,
dynamite, and DoorDash used to deliver them, but now we're outside of their delivery radius.
Yeah.
But we used to get just a shitload at a time because to make it justifiable.
Right.
And now we can't get those. But, man, I fucking love those things.
It was one of those neighborhood places when I lived over there that you had to make reservations. You couldn't just walk over. You take a chance that the bar might be available, but there's only 3 people that can sit at that bar. So you take a massive chance walking over there, and it's one of the rare places around that area that I couldn't just walk into and get a table or wait a little bit and get a table. With John and Vinny's, you have to make a reservation. There's so many people. It is a small place. It's not a big place, but their food is extraordinary, man. For the first time ever in my entire life, I had a pasta breakfast. I've never had a pasta breakfast, and then one of the few evenings when we first started dating, and Lily stayed over at my old place before we moved in together, right? At my old place. I got up and we had been drinking the night before really bad. So we got up and we had hangovers and we were just getting food. And I walked over to John and Vinny's and we ordered some to go. And I'd never had that. And it was so satisfying to have that for breakfast. And it was scary how good it was, because I was like, shit, man. Because you start having that for breakfast, you start putting that in the equation, that's a possibility. You're going to start packing it on even more, man. That much pasta in the morning, it's not good.
No, I don't know anybody that eats pasta for breakfast. So
I'm just saying. I'm sure,
long distance runners do it the night before they carbo load.
Right.
Morning of. I don't know what you're doing. It sounds like it's going to be a hell of a day.
It's going to be a bad day, man. There's veering off the course.
If you like Italian, there's a joint in La Jolla that I think is good.
Cool.
I don't think it's as good as John and Venny's, because John and Venny's is really fucking good. You know what I mean? That's tough to get to.
Yeah.
But it's called Piatti. It's on the it's down near the Cove, but the nice thing is it's the north side of La Jolla area, so all the tourists stay down in the Cove area, and Piatti is a block from the beach. It's this converted like house type of thing. It's got it's like great for date night. I took people in from out of town. I took friends there. It was just like it worked for all kinds of different situations, and it's only like $15-20 for your main entree for a good Italian place. That's cheap.
Yeah.
Because Italian gets pricey pretty fucking quick if you wanted to.
Fair point. Yeah, it does. It can. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's true.
For pasta, man. And they start charging like $28, and you're like, dude, it's fucking pasta.
I can make this.
It better be really good. In some places it is. And you're like, all right, you earned your $28. Good for you.
Yeah.
And other people will be like, we both know that was not worth.
That's what frustrated me about Maggiano's, man. They jack their prices up on their spaghetti and meatballs. I'm like, $18? Are you fucking crazy? $18 for spaghetti and meatballs from a chain?
I know.
Are you nuts? Come on.
It's like
12.
You go to certain Mexican places and their carne asada plate or their carnitas plate. That's what I usually gravitate towards, is a carnitas plate type of thing.
Yeah. And carnitas is great.
You go to like somewhere like Casa Verde. Mm-hmm. And when I went in there and I was like, dude, they're charging like $19 for their, for their pork. It's fucking pork. I've been to a million. And then you have it and you'd be like, you know what? You guys did it so well that it's justifiable. That was really good. Like, I still know what it's made. I can make carnitas at home. I've done it. But the spices, it's the perfect amount of tender. It's the perfect, it's worth it for that. But fucking Piatti, check it out. You might if you like Italian, I think you'll dig it.
I just texted Lily right now as you were talking about it, so I don't forget about it. Oh, we go hang out. Because, dude, around here where we live, all I'm going to tell you is there's not a lot of fucking, nice places to go get food. There's decent places. There's good places. But they're not like what I'm used to in L.A., which was like stone's throw away. I could go wherever I wanted for a great meal.
You live in a less populated area, and there's actually a bunch of new housing. True. So that's what you're going to get.
Very true. So, yeah.
My sister lives roughly in that area, and it's...
Oh, yeah.
Carl Strauss is hands down the best thing by her. Hands down. It's not even close.
That has been an option in our minds at certain times.
Yeah. We've tried sushi up there. It was terrible. They have a great pizza place up there that does a grandma style, which is like the thick, pillowy.
Yeah.
It's like focaccia bread. I can text you that one. I don't know if it's still open. But they have that, and their salads are fucking dynamite.
Really?
Like a dynamite. You get that, get like a salad and a slice, and it's totally fucking worth it. It's pricey, but it's worth it. Right. Outside of that, though, I've had Italian food that was mediocre up there. I've had Mediterranean food that was mediocre up there. I've had, it's all a bunch of mediocrity. Everything I know in San Diego's down PB, La Jolla.
Right. Those are the better areas where they would have that kind of stuff.
That's where I lived. So that's what I know.
Yep. So I'm curious to see where she's taking us to dinner tomorrow night for my birthday. As we're recording this, my birthday's tomorrow, but for people who are listening. But I'm curious to see, because she likes to research and pick out. She's real picky about restaurants. So I'm curious to see where she's going to take us tomorrow night for dinner. I have no idea. So, it's going to be all in her hands.
Once the world goes back to normal, you might like Turf Club.
Oh, okay.
It's like this kind of, how would you say it? Rat Packy swingers, but authentic, small, tiny little place where you buy a steak, but they have these small communal grill areas. Yeah. And it's bricked up, and it's an old, I think it's wood fired. And, 4 or 5 people can stand around it, and you cook your own steaks and all that. So but it's like they only charge you, I don't know, like $12-14 for a steak. Right. But it's a good steak. Yeah. And because they're not paying for a cook, they give you the discount there. And it just got 25 people can fit in there, 30 people. But it's not close to you. It's like probably 12, 15 minutes away.
Well, that's fine with me. But because I know when we go to Comic-Con every year in San Diego downtown, we'll go over to that. I think it's called the New York Strip Club or something like that. Same kind of deal right there in the Gaslamp District. They give you like, monster portions of the side stuff. And then you pick out your steak, or you tell them how much, and then you cook it there on the grill with other people standing around. It's pretty cool. I dig it. So to know that there's a place even closer, I'm absolutely down for that. Yeah, because I like that idea of cooking.
You'll be paying less.
Yeah,
and getting still good quality.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I got to find those restaurants because she's lactose intolerant, so I have to find places where she can pick from the menu stuff to eat. So steak works. Steak absolutely works.
There's a burger joint in Crown Point, which is PB meets Mission Beach area.
Okay.
And Saturdays and Sundays, the line starts. They get in there to start making the burgers at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, something like that. I used to know a cook that worked there, and they have a line out the door until they close, which is, I think, early afternoon. It's a bar that just sells burgers, and everybody loves their fucking burgers.
Oh, my God.
And it's single patty, 2 patties, cheese, no cheese, and fries. That's all they do.
I'll take any suggestion you got, man.
Yeah.
Any suggestion
Everybody swears by, I think it's Hodad's in Ocean Beach. I think it's fine. It's a better in and out.
Yeah.
But I'm not as big a burger connoisseur as others, so there's probably like 5 other spots in town.
Right. I mean, I
just never seek it out. Anyway, go ahead.
That's fair. Yeah, I hear you. I'm trying to make an effort to get more seafood into the diet, so I'm trying to find places that have good seafood as well, decent seafood around here, and so just trying to figure all that out. So that's also the next step. But a good burger, I'll never say no to. So that's good to know.
The best sushi I've ever had in my life is in PB. So my future cousin-in-law, he had come out there for business, and he was coming out, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in town." I'd never met him. He was like, "You want to meet me at Sushi?" And I lived 3 blocks away, but it was in the strip mall next to a 7-Eleven in PB, and not in the good section of PB, like just over near the freeway. It's as soon as you get off the freeway, it's right fucking there. Right. And it was us and all Japanese businessmen. They spoke very little English, and it was incredibly good.
Wow.
The Toro was out of this world. It's the only time I've ever liked, what is it? Unagi? Is that the sea urchin?
Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever liked it. And it was, I could have eaten 50 of them. It was that good.
Okay.
And I've never liked it since. I've tried it like 5 more times, trying to recapture, what I had there.
Chasing that dragon.
But it's also years ago, so who knows if it's any good.
Yeah.
Still, it's been over a decade since I ate there. But I know Piatti, I've been there 100 times, and it's been the same every time, and it's good. Turf Club's the same every time because you're cooking the shit.
Yeah, right. All right. That sounds good to me, man. I'm down.
And I'll send you the pizza joint. I'll have to look it up.
Please, I'm down. But we're not here to talk about food in the greater San Diego area. We're here to talk about...
I'm looking forward to dinner now.
Yeah, so am I. When I get a chance.
I made a great dinner last night, so this night we're eating out. I don't know what the fuck we're going to get, but I'm starting to think about like what our options might be. It's got a lot of things on the menu now.
Yeah, a lot of things to choose from. And we had a lot of movies to choose from for this list. Nice segue.
Great segue.
Thank you.
Totally validated.
We are counting down the top 10 movies based on a true story from 2000 to 2009. And this is you're frozen, Matt, a little bit. So hopefully you'll come back here in a second. But it is brought to you by one of our patrons here on the top 10. There you go. You're good to go now. One of our patrons here on the top 10. She suggested the list. We haven't used one of her suggestions in a very long time. So it was nice to be able to have someone new suggest something. And again, if you're at a certain level, you get the perks of suggesting topics. Mm-hmm. Some of you who are at this level don't send in your topics, but you can absolutely suggest stuff. Maybe you're just happy donating, but we just want to encourage you to send in topics if you like. We like to choose people who haven't been chosen before.
And Angela Dashner is sending in the topic this time, and we asked her, "Hey, would you want to do 2000, 2009?" Does that pocket? Because she said, just the top 10 based on a true story, and dear God, every 5 years, there's 10 more that you can make a discussion about from just those 5 years type of things. It's like, there's a lot of meat on this bone. Let's, and this way we can talk about different movies and whatnot. Now,
absolutely.
I will say this, after having compiled all the potential options, I made 2 lists. One of all movies that I don't think we've ever talked about, or maybe only talked about once.
Okay.
And then one that is probably my more honest.
Okay. So which list are you going to use?
I'm going to do the ones we never talk about, because that way we can talk about some movies we never talk about.
Sure. Sounds good.
And then I'll give any of your movies that match up with mine. I think we'll give those more weight in the final list, because that's a truer representation of what they would be. This is just a way to talk about some more movies for once.
That's fair. Totally fair. All right. So you're trying to up the game by coming in with 2 lists, motherfucker. You're trying to play hard now.
It's not. That was not the intent. It's just I started going through all the years, and I very easily could have missed some. So if that comes up and be like, hey, what about such and such type of thing? Like, I completely forgot, but it's a pretty big list.
Okay.
So, quite a bit of different stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go with the lesser. Maybe some of those will end up making your list. I don't know.
We shall see. We shall see. All right. So Matt, you want to tell them how the show works?
Once we set a topic, we go our individual ways and create personal top 10 lists. Show back up here. I do my bottom 3. He does his bottom 3. I do my next 2. He does his next 2. Then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the 2 of us.
Boom. All right. Matt, you want to start us off? You got your 10 from your list of.
Yes. Of the ones we haven't really talked about.
Okay. Let's do it.
At 10, I've got The Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
Oh, fantastic film. That's my number 9 on my actual list. Love this film.
Is it? Really?
Yep. Love this film.
I saw that in San Diego in Hellhurst. It was the only place playing that. And there's a smaller theater there that used to play art house films, and it was out there. And I've only seen it the once, but it's always stuck with me.
Oh, yeah. Really? Okay.
Well, I still remember him just kind of being in that physical state of you can't do anything, but your brain is still active. You're still alive. Yeah. It's like, have you ever seen the video for And Justice for All? That's about a movie of a soldier coming back and he's got locked in syndrome and he can't get out of it and whatnot. Right. That's where I learned about such a thing. But anyways, to see it in a movie and what he was and what he is and how basically he has to evolve. Yeah. Type of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that, I know when we first started doing the show for the first few years, people be like, oh, Roka's European Corner. This is one of those ones that, like, when I saw in the early 2000s or in the, I was like so enamored by for so many reasons. And I went and saw it. I remember it was either a Christmas break or I'd just flown home for whatever reason. And I went to see it at the Shirlington there near Virginia, in Virginia rather. And I just remember sitting there. And then after the movie was over, just sitting through the credits. And I'd never done that, right? I know they do that in LA all the time now. But that was the first movie I can remember ever sitting through the entire credits all the way to the end, because I just wanted to savor the experience a little bit longer from what I just experienced. I'd never seen any movie like that. He all through, like you said, all through the eye. He has this condition, and everyone is trying to show him the world, and he's still experiencing the world as much as he can through the limited lens that he has to experience it. And you're watching it through his eyes, and then or eye at times, and then you're watching it, outside of it. And it's fascinating, and it's some great acting work. I think his name is Matthew Alamanic. He was the villain in Quantum of Solace for James Bond, but he is the main guy. And I bought this a couple of years ago on Blu-ray because it just was like, I got to have this film.
Oh, wow.
Still, it's that good of a film for me. It has stayed with me, like you, Matt. A kind of civil experience. It's so uniquely, such a unique film. And I had such a unique experience with it that I caught it. Same thing with See Inside, the Javier Bardem film. Those two films to me are companion films. They're completely unique and dealing with a physical disability and how that affects how you view the world, how you process the world. So I really enjoyed that film. So it's great that's on your list, man.
I don't know if I'll ever go back to see it again, but I can still play scenes in my head.
Right.
which says, what did that come out? 2000, I would say 5.
Yeah, early in the 2000s, certainly. Yeah, maybe even. Let's see here.
Actually, hold on. I could tell you it was 2007.
Wow. Okay.
2007.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for something to do at night instead of drink, so I went and saw a movie.
Right. Oh, it's okay. That's understandable, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it was after I quit drinking. I know I was sober at that time, and it was just like, you're bored some nights. And I wasn't going to go back to drinking anyway, but you got to fill your time. So I just went and started seeing as many movies as I could in the theater.
Right. And the main girl is in Frantic. She's the main, kind of French girl in Frantic, the Harrison Ford movie from back in the early 80s or 90s, rather. So,
what was Frantic?
88? Is it 1988? Yeah, it's the one he did with. I think Polanski directed that one.
What's it about?
In a hotel room in Paris, a doctor comes out of the shower and finds that his wife has disappeared. He soon finds himself caught up in a world of intrigue, espionage, gangster drugs, and murder.
Wow, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. Betty Buckley plays his wife, I think. Yeah, Betty Buckley plays his wife. And then Emmanuelle Seigner is the French woman, I think, that's connected to the kidnappers of his wife. And so he's trying to figure out what happened there. I mean, he's got these films, Harrison does, with these wives situations, what's the one with Tommy Lee Jones?
Tommy Lee. The Fugitive?
The Fugitive. There you go. That kind of situation.
We got that. Regarding Henry?
Right. Regarding Henry. Yeah.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
That's not a wife, though.
He's trying to make her his wife.
True.
Yeah. But family stuff, wife stuff, certainly. But yeah, Frantic. I remember that. So yeah, cool. And it's I think it's Julian Schnabel who did that Basquiat film. I think. Yeah. Julian Schnabel. I hope I'm saying that right. Not annoying. Yeah, Basquiat, Before Night Falls, then The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, then a documentary, then Moral, and At Eternity's Gate. So that's the last. So yeah, interesting career. Only six movies since 1996. Wow. He's a painter or an artist as well. Anyway, all right. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is Capote.
Oh, good one, man. Yep.
Phil Seymour Hoffman, he is doing Capote going to Kansas to write what becomes In Cold Blood.
Right.
And it's Truman Capote is a very unique individual.
Mm-hmm.
With mannerisms,
to say the least, yeah.
Yeah, in mannerisms, speech patterns, his view of the world, how he interacts with others and whatnot. He's kind of a singular individual. And the weird thing is there was 2 of these that came out roughly around the same time.
Yeah. Infamous was the other one with Toby Jones.
I did not see that one. I saw Capote.
Mm-hmm.
It's Deep Impact and Armageddon. It's Volcano and why does this shit keep happening?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so 2 Truman Capotes. If you know anything about him, it's an interesting character exploration to see him instead of the only way that I had known about him was seeing old clips of him on talk shows and shit.
Yeah, right.
And that was before my time, really, because by the time he passed and whatnot, he wasn't in my sphere, so to speak. So to get a better understanding of who he was and how he came about to discover the story, flesh it out, you get an interaction with the characters that the book is based upon. I can't remember the name.
The 2 guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super interesting just as a character study to me.
Hey, won him the Oscar. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't know how many people have seen Capote, and we've never talked about it to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, it's on my honorable mentions, and I think Catherine Keener is his assistant for this, playing Harper Lee, who of course ends up writing To Kill a Mockingbird. And in the infamous one, Sandra Bullock plays Harper Lee to Toby Jones's Truman Capote. I think that's right. But yeah, and I think Clifton Collins plays one of the killers or the killer of the 2 brothers in the film. And remember him, he's been in a number of things, but he's certainly in Star Wars, the 2009 Star Wars, as Eric Bana. Star Trek rather, as Eric Bana's like second-hand man who's the Romulan guy. So yeah, he's a part of it. Yeah, there's Catherine Keener. Yeah, she plays Harper Lee. So yeah, excellent film, dude. I remember seeing it in the theater, thoroughly enjoyed it, and really liked his performance. And it's one of those ones where he's the focus, and yes, he's trying to win an Oscar with this. But the film itself is actually damn good. It's not just a vehicle to help him win an Oscar. Right. Yes, great point. Not like Trumbo. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Cranston is great in it, but the movie's all right.
Yeah.
It's better than Black Mass, where that's about Johnny Depp. But
right, the movie's not as good.
I think it's important if you're going to win Best Actor that the movie around you is good.
Yeah.
Rami Malek, I'm looking your way, buddy. I don't get it.
I agree with you, my man.
To say that's an Oscar-winning performance? Or Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really? That's the Oscar for that year. Is it good? Sure. Was I blown away? Like, if to focus on a singular individual and one we know, you got to fucking crush it.
I don't disagree with you. Like Lincoln, not that good of a movie, but great performance.
See, I like the movie, but I understand what people point out. But Day-Lewis is next level.
Right. Absolutely next level, man. If they could edit the film down to where it's just his scenes, I would probably enjoy watching that.
I would watch a one-man show of him.
That's a great point.
Not even kidding. I would watch a fucking one-man show of him.
I actually love that idea. I would too. I would love it. Bennett Miller, who directed Capote, has only done 2 other films, man. Moneyball and Foxcatcher.
Damn.
I know, dude.
That's 3 very. I just watched Moneyball again like 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh, did you enjoy it? Is it still good? Does it hold up?
Still good.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. That film's going to be 10 years old next year. Fuck me. 10 years old. Moneyball. Feels like it was yesterday. The years are flying by, man. Just right through my fingers, man. All right. Anyway, what's your number 8, man?
My number 8 is The Last King of Scotland.
Oh, great choice. Oh, I love that movie. Shit.
It almost slipped through the cracks, man, and I eventually saw.
Shit, I should put that on. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. No. You take it. I think we're gonna find a way to put that. It's such a goddamn good movie, dude.
The farting scene is so good. The James McAvoy, Forrest Whitaker, and he comes in, he puts that cricket bat. He has to relieve the gas. You can technically die from that.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
And he thinks he's dying, and just helps him let out this giant. But the weird thing is, it humanizes the devil.
Yeah. Right.
Which you need to do, because otherwise you're doomed to fall for the devil's charms again if you don't understand.
Right.
That it's just a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
But I mean, 2 excellent performances from McAvoy and Forrest Whitaker, and it was really kind of at that point you're expecting McAvoy to be in all these types of serious movies and Oscar contenders, and kind of year in year out. He was on some level like a junior Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Chalamet is more mainlined. He's going to have an Oscar very soon.
Right.
Whereas McAvoy has been derailed a little bit from that. But he chased the X-Men kind of brass ring.
Took that money. Every once in a while, though, he was great in Split. He's really great at that killer in Split. And then, of course, what he did in Glass. He's really good in that as well. I say he's good in those things. But I hear what you're saying. He's not, going after that in a certain way that other actors do. So, yeah. Yeah.
Chalamet seems like he's outside of Dune, but Dune could have Oscar potential.
Right. And even Dune looks like an art house independent film masquerading as a massive, large film.
Yeah.
I mean, Forrest Whitaker is so good in here, and the tension of the film throughout, what it must be like to be around a man like this, that at any moment, on a whim, will kill people. On a whim, will dismount. I mean, that scene where he sees them sewing the legs onto people's arms. the reaction, and me in the theater, I lost my shit seeing that, because I'm like, that's a level of psychopathy that I cannot conceive of or understand, and that is really dehumanizing anyone around you, and of course, and it's happening to someone like Kerry Washington, who comes off as, I think it's Kerry Washington who's in the movie.
Sounds right. I have to look it up.
Yeah, and what and you're just like, oh my God, this is his revenge. This kind of madness is his revenge, and then them sticking the hooks into his fucking chest and yanking him up, and you're just like, oh my God.
Well, and McAvoy goes into it doe-eyed.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because he symbolizes the West. The West thinks, I'll just come in and
really be.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Maybe I can change him. All he needs is like a good voice in his ear. He needs an angel on his shoulder.
Yeah, right.
And see the depravity of an individual that has power and rules by fear and violence.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just in modern society too, that this can go on.
Yeah. Right. And be allowed to go on. Yeah.
It's not worth the time of others to shut it down.
Yeah. Nothing scares me more to be stuck in Africa in the middle of something like that. Because you've seen Rwanda, you've seen these genocides, you've seen these, there's such a level of violence on that continent. Sometimes you're just like, oh my God, that's insane, And look, I know every power has its history of doing incredibly terrible things, but what you see on that continent, some of these countries sometimes can just really scare the shit out of you, man. So, in my opinion, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have video of or news reports, accurate news reports of Europe's awful history.
Of course, right. I mean, we have the Holocaust, so certainly that.
Well, you don't have, here's an eyewitness to this interrogation.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
we're all guilty of it. It's just they're doing it more often in the current times.
Yes, that's what it is. It's about occurring during modern times. Yeah, absolutely.
So we see it more, but I can't imagine what it would have been like when the Aztecs are having a bad day.
Yeah, right.
You know what? Pretty sure 10,000 people need to have their hearts ripped out by tomorrow so the sun comes up. And you're like,
what?
hey, guys. I'm pretty sure the sun's going to come up tomorrow.
I got some. Can we just wait and see what happens before we start taking my heart out? Can we just wait till the morning? Give me to the morning.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Oh God, yeah, right.
The joke of it's not guilty if he sinks or if she sinks.
right. The wood or whatever.
Yeah.
It's no lie. It's no lie, man. Yeah, Catholic Church is littered with its history of terrible things.
Dude, pick a civilization that's been around long enough.
Right.
You can do it for all of them.
Yeah.
Like Inuits, I have no idea what happened, but they got something in their past.
If you'd say so, I don't know.
I don't know, but people are people, man.
That's true. How can it be? By the way, the guy who directed this one also directed Black Sea, one of the top 10's favorite films.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kevin McDonald. Yeah.
A very quality submarine film that has nothing to do technically with war.
Yeah, but it kind of fits though, doesn't it, Matt? Because that kind of the look of it is very similar to Last King of Scotland. That kind of darker look to it, the kind of like the tension throughout, and so it does a really great job on both of those movies. He does. So, all right, that was your 8.
That was my 8.
Okay, so my 10 is The Queen.
Okay, go for it.
I've said it before on the show 100 times. I'm an Anglophile. I love British stuff, but I really enjoy this movie. And it is a movie I go back to numerous times. Helen Mirren playing the Queen, dealing with the loss of Princess Diana, the death of Princess Diana, and how she was shocked at how the public responded in such a devastating, heartbroken way. And she didn't get it for such a long time. And Michael Sheen playing Prime Minister Tony Blair, kind of struggling with her to get it, to understand what's happening, to get her to come to the table, to kind of deal with the fact that Diana was this very beloved person amongst the Brits and amongst British society, and how she kind of negotiates that, and of course her own struggles as a woman in a man's world, rather, not doing a man's job, but in a man's world, dealing with like the expectations and the frustrations of it all, and then also being queen, trying to navigate that and navigate her son, who's a bit of a crafty little coward, and how to navigate that as well. So all of that, and it's just a fantastic performance from her and Michael Sheen. Just great stuff between both of them, and it's just one I go back to all the time. Just love it to pieces. So
I need to see it.
Oh, you've never seen The Queen?
Nope.
Interesting. I'm sure Catherine has, right?
No, yeah. If it was a TV show, yes, which The Crown is, but
right.
For some reason, sitting down to watch a 2-hour movie is no. Although she's got a good excuse for it now, which is she prefers TV because the character development is so much fuller.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I just don't think you have the patience to sit through a movie.
It's funny. We're essentially, look, we didn't know each other from Adam before we started doing this show, man. Yeah. But our girl, your wife, my girl, it couldn't be more similar. I mean, like Lily won't watch a British movie. She'll watch British shows to the end of time, but British movies, she just gets bored by it all. It's mind blowing, dude.
I don't. We'll watch 3 episodes, and that's 3 hours.
Yeah, that's what I said in my head. I'm like, this is a 2-hour movie.
Same fucking thing.
Yeah, what's the difference? We can even stop an hour in so you can think it's an episode.
Sure. Take a little intermission. Go get some popcorn and a soda. Come back.
Exactly. It doesn't work though. We started Gangs of London. Have you been watching Did you watch Gangs of London?
Which one is that? That's
the kid from Peaky Blinders, the younger kid, Joe Cole. His dad, Cole Meany, dies at the beginning, and then he has to it's like 8 episodes or 10 episodes where he's negotiating being in charge of this this crime family in Britain and London. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, fuck yeah. It's 4 episodes. It's the guys who did The Raid, Gareth Evans. They did the whole series. And some of the fight sequences are very Raid-like. Still believable, but very Raid-like. So it's pretty awesome. I just recommend it. So,
have you ever watched Ripper Street?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I used to watch Ripper Street all the time when it was on BBC America. Matthew McFadden.
I like that show.
You don't like it?
Watched like 3 episodes of season 1 and I was like, no. And then 2 years later or something, we're like, you know what? Let's start a season. I mean, most British shows are 2 seasons of 6 episodes a season and they're done. And this one was much longer. And you're like, maybe this isn't the exception. It was so good. So we're like, we'll start in season 2. Same thing. I think we got 4 episodes in. We're like, no.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. It's a slog because it's not a 6-episode series. It's like 12 to 14 episodes a season, I think, Ripper Street.
Which I'm fine with. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just too much. No, I get it, dude. I get it. It was one I didn't watch the last season because I kind of had started checking my phone during the second season during every episode. And when that started to happen, that was telling me that it wasn't strong. Yeah, exactly. You think, oh, Jesus Christ, it went for 5 seasons? Holy fuck.
Yeah. They knew it's been around for a while. Like the show does that.
Yeah, look at how many seasons. Jesus, Mary, Mother of God.
It's got a good cast, and I just don't give a shit.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good cast. And you have an American in that cast, which is an interesting way they make that work. Matthew McFadden, who's in Succession, of course. He's the lead of it. So, but yeah, I hear you. Ripper Street. Whitechapel is another one if you ever get a chance. Huh?
The other dude was in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I can't remember. I know I've seen Broadchurch.
Mm-hmm. Broadchurch's good.
Anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah, fair point. All right, so that was Queen number 10, 9, Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Number 8 for me is Good Night and Good Luck.
Wow, what are the odds of this? Okay, that's my 7. I don't.
Oh,
has it? What has this made? One list? Maybe when we did Clooney movies way back when.
I think so. And this would be a contender for black and white movies, in my mind. Modern black and white movie. Yeah. But this one is once again fantastic. Wood. I think Clooney directs this one.
He does.
I think it was his debut, and of course, this is David Strathairn as Edward R. Murrow dealing with the Red Scare at that time and what that was all about. Yeah, with McCarthyism, exactly. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is in this thing too, as like as a producer for I think CBS radio, and so they're dealing with all of this idea of McCarthyism and the Red Scare and communists in America in the 50s, all of this, and pushing back against the Red Scare, pushing back against this idea of sensationalism about the Russians, and we're seeing it nowadays as well, how that information can be manipulated or twisted to make people believe a certain thing. And then having people who are in positions of power who want to push that narrative, and Edward R. Murrow resisting because he sees what it could lead to. And so the film is in black and white is brilliant because it puts you back in that time mentally. But then the scenes are so incredibly well written and tight. And this is a masterpiece in acting from David Strathairn, who is a well-known character actor, rarely gets to lead a show or a movie even, and letting him lead the show. Clooney's in it too, but letting him lead this film was just a brilliant choice by Clooney. And he's excellent. He's excellent in the movie.
Yeah, Strathairn doesn't. He's always second, third, fourth, sometimes ninth fiddle. He's just such an excellent actor that he brings the same work ethic to tiny little side role and say something like Sneakers, where he is like sixth banana in that film, seventh banana, and it's just as good as anything he's done there, all the way up to where he's fronting movie Good Night and Good Luck. It's the ideals of what you would hope we always kind of exist with.
Yeah.
There's a menace, like a scare, and you worry about some threat that doesn't really exist, but you can demonize groups of people for no other thing than just pure accusation.
Yeah.
And standing up against that, even though it almost has like an indifferent kind of swell. People don't know what they could do to stop it anyway. So it's just and it's maybe potentially taking out bad people. So I'm ultimately kind of fine with it. Just this is a recipe for disaster. You have to see it for what it is. Which is unchecked power, like baseless accusations, destroying people on nothing but hearsay.
Right.
That's fine as long as you're in power.
Right.
The day that you're not. So to see Murrow stand up to it is a really interesting retelling of what that was. Yeah.
It's so ironic because it feels like that's essentially what the McCarthyism was, basically trying to cancel people who didn't, what they use now to cancel culture, trying to cancel people who they suspected might be, talking to the communists or going to a communist gathering.
Communist sympathizer.
Yeah, communist, exactly. And now you're seeing.
What does that even mean?
Right. And you're seeing the children of them complaining about cancel culture, which, has been around since the dawn of time, in my opinion. All right. What are we up to next? You're 7?
Well, that was my 7.
Oh, sorry. Yes. You're 6.
So my 6 is another Clooney, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
That's a great choice, man. Love that movie. Didn't make my list, but I love that movie.
The idea that, was it Barrett is his last name?
Chuck Barrett. Yeah.
Chuck Barrett. The idea that Chuck Barrett is creator and producer and host of Gong Show, but secretly, according to his memoir, he was a spy and secret agent for the CIA. And, what a great outlandish tale.
Yeah.
A Paul Bunyan for our times, if you will.
If you will.
Only he believes it. Is it fable? Is it myth? Is it real? Only, I guess, the CIA and good old Chuck know it. And solid directing from, George Clooney. I think this was his first.
Oh, really? Maybe you're right. Yeah. Chuck Barris. Sorry, it's Barris.
Barris, there you go.
I used to watch the Gong Show all the time growing up as a kid. It was my dad's favorite show to watch. Yeah, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Then Good Night.
Sam Rockwell getting a shot into the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reports out of that were Rockwell didn't get along with anybody on the cast.
Wow, really?
Clooney and him didn't really care for each other. And I think Julia Roberts has a small part in it. And
she does.
They weren't bad-mouthing him, but they weren't singing his praises either.
Interesting.
Remember? Yeah. But that was when the movie came out.
Right. Maybe he swung in there, young actor, thinking he's got everything. And so.
Yeah. Or he went full method and he was just Barrett the whole time.
Right. Oh, yeah. Rutger Hauer's in this, too. He has a small part. Matt Damon, Brad Pitt.
It's got a hell of a cast. They're all like doing small, tiny little parts. It's Cody's first directorial debut.
Yeah.
So he's calling in favors.
Right.
Yeah, just the idea that, I mean, I walked out of it going, do I think that he thinks that is true?
Right. Yeah. Which is what they want you to think, right? When you come out of the movie.
Clooney did a great job.
Yeah.
That's also Barris. I can't tell if this is genuinely tongue in cheek.
Right.
Or you're trying to pass off that you were some sort of secret agent. Like, it's just the ridiculousness of it. And Rockwell is great in it. I think it's got the perfect light type of direction.
Yeah.
It never gets too heavy, but it also doesn't go like pure comedic type of thing. So it finds a good balance. And for, I've watched it a few times since it came out, and I think it's Clooney showing early on. Unfortunately, he's had some misfires since then, but Siriano, we both are fans of.
Yes.
All the Monuments Men, maybe not so much.
Well, he didn't direct Siriana. Stephen Gagan, he directed Siriana.
I thought
Clooney won the Oscar for that, but he didn't direct Siriana.
Okay.
Yeah, Clooney directed, like you said, Monuments Men. He did Ides of March, which I think is fantastic.
That is good. Did he do Stare at Goats too? The Men Who Stare at Goats?
No, he did Leatherheads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which was not good. So those are the two misses. Oh, and Suburbicon. So 3 misses: Leatherheads, Monuments, and Suburbicon. And then 3 hits, or 3 good ones: Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Good Night, Good Luck, and Ides of March. And then he has a new one coming out called The Midnight Sky, which I don't know what he's directing himself.
Okay. All right. Well, that was my number 6.
Okay. All right. My number 7 is, where is it here? American Gangster.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, great film. Love this film. Ridley Scott, Denzel Washington, Russell Crowe. We've talked about it a number of times here on the show and had a fun time talking about it. Certainly just a brilliant thing to watch an actual black American gangster make it in the late 60s, 70s, and seeing the twists and turns of that story and how, and the ruthless way he became successful, hiding drugs inside the bodies or the coffins of Vietnam veterans who were being sent over from Vietnam, hiding the poppy and all of that they would do, the heroin, all of that involved in this throughout. And then seeing him run his crew, and his crew is full of a who's who of up and coming black actors at the time. Yeah. Chiwetel Ejiofor plays his brother. Common is in this thing. Yeah. And Cuba Gooding Jr. has a part as well as a
small part.
Yeah, it's like a lower level kind of rival gangster there, and what they do with him.
Calling his product the same as Denzel's.
Yeah.
Denzel talks to him about the business aspects of basically you're diluting my brand. The sending opium, the genius of that.
Evil genius of that, yeah.
Yeah, but still, it sucks that you didn't get into business.
Right. You could have,
I mean, you've got the big picture kind of scope. Because the stones to pull that off too is next level.
I agree, and especially a black man in the fucking 60s and 70s. Are you kidding me? Oh,
and to be big stepping through New York, the power shift from the mob to him, and it's also a good. You only see the corrupt cops for the corrupt cops that they are, and then you got the Russell Crowe, but the Brolin crew and all that. Then, if you want to delve more into that, you've got. Prince of the City and Serpico.
Yeah, Serpico. Great stuff.
Anyway, good movie.
I got to revisit Prince of the City, man. It's been a long, long time.
It's good.
I got to stop doing these shows, man, because my days are just filled with doing fucking shows every day.
Do that.
I miss being able to just wake up and go, oh, yeah, I got some hours. Just flip through and watch something. I can't even do that anymore.
But then in a month's time, you're going to have a new Twitch channel.
Yeah, right.
It's Xbox exclusive. It's just, John, you like to put a lot of irons in the fire. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's because I've been poor my whole life. And so now that there's a little bit of like possibilities here, I like to have a lot of irons in the fire.
Sure.
I like to have multiple revenue streams to keep me alive, man.
Nothing
But
wrong.
yeah, it's exhausting though. And I miss being able to just like on a Saturday, just pop on whatever the fuck I want to pop on. And maybe I just need to maybe I need to schedule the shows. This is John Roca watching movies time. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you do.
Because Prince of the City, I remember watching that as a young man, and I've always wanted to go back to it. And I remember I used to rent it on VHS, and it was 2 tapes. It was one of those films that was so long, it was like 2 tapes.
Yeah.
So I'd love to rediscover it again. And maybe that's the new. Oh Jesus, never mind. I'll shut.
Maybe that's the new shows.
I just don't even.
The Rediscover with John Roca. There you go.
See, I can't even just do something I want to do without thinking of turning it into a show. Terrible. Anyway, all right, where are we at? We had 6.
American
6.
Gangster. What was that?
That was 7. That was my number 7. So then my 6 is Black Hawk Down.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Oh man, I revisited this one again after I'd interviewed William Fichtner a few months ago, or last year, I guess. And I was just like, oh man, I haven't seen this one in a long time. And he spoke about it. Like after we had finished recording, he just talked about it because I had mentioned I'd served in the military. So he was like, you got to tell me you've seen this one. I was like, yeah, I saw it way back. He's like, you got to revisit it. There's so much in it. And then I watched it again. And there's so many great actors throughout this thing. Bana again, Josh Hartnett. Tom Hardy has a small ass part. Yeah, Ewan McGregor. Yeah.
It's a deep cast.
Yeah, but I mean, just what they go through there is such a unique experience, and a lot of people who served during that theater of war or theater of whatever it was called speak about that film like World War II veterans speak about Private Ryan, the opening of Private Ryan. That feeling that this is as realistic as you're going to get to what we were experiencing on the ground there in Mogadishu. And so it's just such a really, really well done film from Ridley Scott. And the cinematography is incredible. The tension that builds throughout, the pacing of it all. So it's just one that sticks with me. And especially on the rewatch, it kind of reminded me how damn good of a film that really is. So
sweet.
Yeah. All right. We're up to your 5, right?
Yep.
Okay.
My 5 is Bronson.
Oh, the Eric Bana. Speaking of Eric Bana. Oh, is that Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, man.
The, England's most dangerous prisoner. Honestly, it was early on. We're like, who is this Tom Hardy guy? And then you see something like Bronson. You're like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
He's got a magnetism and a charisma. He brings to life. That's why you can watch what was the one where he's driving and his whole life is kind of unraveling? There you go, Locke. Thank you.
Yeah.
When I heard about that, I was like, I believe it. Like the guy always kind of creates a real character, even if I don't much care for the movie, so to speak.
Right.
I still like his work in it. Especially for an actor who started out as like a model, like a MTV over in England kind of model-ish type of dude. Yeah. And a number of people would be pigeonholed for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for him to really go off and create some super interesting art. And it's a character that will stick with you. You don't want to root for him, but it's kind of hard not to want to root for Bronson in this. Yeah. I just love him getting oiled up before the guards are coming in, because he knows the pain that's coming and it excites him.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different mindset than I would assume 95% of the world exists at. Yeah,
I don't think he had done anything that was remotely close to Bronson until he did Warrior. I thought that's that idea of the how the physical is an extension of who he is as a man, and it has to be expressed in a certain way. And with Warrior, he is trying to kind of fight through things literally and figuratively in his life and in his mind. And in Bronson, he's using his size to intimidate and control his environment and to fuck with other people like the guards and what have you. So you're seeing that throughout. But it's an incredible performance from him. And, and I saw Bana do Chopper. And I remember, I think within a year, I saw both of these, I think on VHS or DVD, Bronson and Chopper within a year of each other, discovering. I think they'd come out obviously at different times, but like, I just kind of was like, oh, who are these guys? And then seeing Chopper, I was just like, holy crapola, man. This is incredible. Hardy has such a interesting energy as an actor, man. It's incredible to watch, dude.
Yeah, it's unique.
Very much so.
Only once, which was motherfucking the symbiote for Venom.
Oh yeah, Venom. Yeah.
His choices in that didn't make sense to me. That's the only time he's ever done that in any movie I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
Or a TV show.
Yeah.
Every other time it's just like, Peaky Blinders. Oh. I like him as the Jewish guy. I bought every choice he made.
Yep.
Or that one that kind of had like it was set in England again. I can't remember. Was it Taboo or something?
Oh, Taboo.
Like
I love Taboo. Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yep.
But then every movie he's been in, then Venom was just the one where I'm like, I don't buy you as an investigative reporter.
How you doing? I'm Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out some things about your life.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little weird.
He could have easily done it. I just didn't. What his choices to me made no sense. But anyway.
Hey, Mrs. Chen, all of that was a little strange.
The weird thing, like Bronson came from a stable home.
Yeah.
And unlike, was it Vikander in Shot Collar?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Where he takes to the life because he kind of has to.
Right.
He's forced into it because he wants to protect those around him. Right. And Bronson just he looks like a child back in the womb. It's a much different take on it. Yeah. Anyway.
And it's directed by the guy who did Drive as well. Nicholas Winding Refn. So for anybody who's interested in seeing that one. All right, where are we?
Your
next?
5?
Oh, yeah, my 5. Sorry. My 5 is Frost Nixon.
Okay. That is on my other list.
Okay. Ron Howard, Frost Nixon, great stuff. Michael Sheen as David Frost, and Frank Langella, who was just great in the Trial of the Chicago 7. If you haven't seen that yet, Matt, on Netflix, definitely watch it. He's so good in that. And seeing him play Nixon, more hunched over Nixon, is great. Oliver Platt's good. Sam Rockwell again, and Kevin Bacon. So this whole, and Rebecca Hall as well. So the whole thing where they're figuring, hey, Matthew McFadden, of course, from Ripper Street as well. This whole thing where they're figuring out how to interview Nixon. And this is a real life interview that happened. And this is where you got the essential admittance that he did know about Watergate, finally, once and for all. And it's a fascinating film because it explores the insecurities that, we get so wrapped up in thinking that people who are on TV or on film are just, they had all this confidence to get there. They're totally fine. They were driven and determined. That's what the PR people tell you. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of loss of self-esteem, self-worth issues, all of that to try to get to a position where they can be successful. And David Frost, as Michael Sheen plays him in the movie, that's what he's negotiating here. He's essentially a laughingstock back in Britain. He's broke, and he's in the situation where this has to work, or he really has no other option in his life. So when your back's up against the wall, the fight or flight instinct makes sense, but can you do what needs to be done when your back is against the wall to not only survive, but to succeed? And not a lot of people can do that. And this movie really chronicles that in a very, consuming, interesting way, in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a story that I didn't know about.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
And then it comes out and I was like, this is just crazy, where Nixon agrees to do it because he thinks it's going to be a puff piece and he can steamroll right over Frost.
Right.
And Frost wants to do it because he wants to legitimize himself so he can get off of just doing this stupid game show shit. And nobody can believe that he got it. Of all the people, why is it Frost? And then when you see it from Nixon's eyes, it'd be like, well, of course, he wants softball questions.
Right.
He only sees Frost for what he sees on TV, so assumes it'll just be nothing. He'll be able to intimidate and outfox him, so he's in no real danger in this cat and mouse throughout. It's awesome. It's number 2 on my other list.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, what's your number 4?
My 4 is Wonderland with Val Kilmer.
Oh, the John Holmes one.
The John Holmes, where it's a cocaine deal, gone awry type of shit, which is, the inspiration in Boogie Nights.
Oh, right.
With Alfred Molina coming in and Thomas Jane type of thing.
Right.
And it's a true story. Happened here in Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley. And I believe it's in this SFV. It's just this. You get to know John Holmes, and I don't know what I kind of envision John Holmes to be like off screen. And it's weird to say that. Yes, I've seen John Holmes on screen. And I've never really thought about it, but he's always been, thank you.
Yeah.
He's I've known his name since I've known about porn.
Right, of course.
Because he's always like, he's the Kleenex, you know what I mean? The product that gets used in place of all the other companies that put it out. Well, he was the name of porn.
Yeah.
On some level, along with a couple other guys. So I had heard of him long before I ever saw him.
Right. Him and Ron Jeremy. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, him and Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
I don't know, just Val Kilmer. Nobody saw this movie.
I never seen it. Is it really good? Is it worth it?
It's he's coked out of his mind for most of it. He's this twitchy kind of, sometimes he has confidence, sometimes he doesn't. And the dust up that he gets into with all the drug dealers and whatnot, like he's so fearful of them, but he's trying to bullshit his way through it. Like a lot of people in Los Angeles, fake it till you make it. Well, he takes that ethos kind of into he gets caught up with drug dealers.
Wow.
So it's already like he's a seedy type of dude that lives in a seedy world and finds the even seedier version.
Right, right.
And it's the commingling of his life as it kind of navigates, and it's in a short window of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen it a couple times. It's
okay.
Val Kilmer is really good. Wish he would get more shots, but talk about a dude that had a reputation for a long time.
Well, yeah, and not anymore. I mean, with that throat cancer he's done pretty much. I don't know how he's going to play. I'm curious to see what his scenes are like in Top Gun Maverick when that thing ever comes out. So, because I saw some video with him, and he's literally like this, and the thing is, and he can barely speak, and you're just like,
he wears big scarves to cover up all the scarring and whatnot, and terrible. Feel bad for anybody that has to go through that.
Absolutely, especially someone as great as Val Kilmer was as an actor, and kind of is. All right, so that's your number 4.
That's my 4. Yeah. Okay,
so then my 4 is where's it? Cinderella Man.
All right, that is on my other list, not on this one.
Yeah. Like I love it. I don't know what to tell you. It's just one of these films that whenever it comes on, I get lost in it. The Patty Considine side story. I wish if I could watch the movie and cut that art out, I'd be fine. Everything else is great about it, man. This is one of the greatest Russell Crowe performances, in my opinion. I think I love it more than Beautiful Mind. I love it more than just about, maybe even close to Gladiator for me in terms of the character. Because Russell rarely and I thought I finally got to watch the in The Insider, that one, the one with the tobacco. I finally got to watch that. But he rarely plays these characters, Matt, where he gets to be vulnerable, like supremely vulnerable. And in this movie, he is that. He's not weak in any way. He's actually a very proud, genuinely humble, noble guy. And this is not something he always plays. So to see him play against type and play the underdog, Russell Crowe playing the underdog is just mind-blowing. A year or 3 years after fucking Gladiator. And you're just like, it's incredible what he does with just real life James J. Braddock and his actual real journey back from wasted potential or loss of potential to champion of the world, and what happens and how he's negotiating that through the Depression, and how he becomes this symbol of America to pick itself back up again and fight back into prominence. And there's nothing America loves more than underdog, because America, although it's the number one world power in the world, we always see ourselves as underdogs. And so it's just a crazy, crazy thing. And he embodies that in the movie. And Zellweger is good. And of course, Paul Giamatti's fantastic throughout. So, and that scene where he's like explaining to the commissioner of boxing after he's got to face, what's his face? I forget it. Max Baer, but I forget the actor's name.
It's Oh, go keep talking, and I'll
Okay.
give me 1 second.
When he's talking to him and telling him, "What are you trying to tell me that that boxing is dangerous? Are you telling me something I don't know? Let me tell you something about my profession, and it is my profession." And then that moment is just so perfect. He's saying, "I'm not afraid. I'm gonna take care of business here, or I'm gonna face this demon or this unbeatable thing, and I will rise above it." So it's just incredible. It's just incredible. So
It's Craig something.
Craig Bierko.
There you go.
Nice, man. Ron Howard directed this too, and this is one of the best Ron Howard directed films as well for me. So
I'd have to look, but I mean, it's in the top 5 for sure. I'm a big fan of Backdraft. I like Apollo 13.
yeah, I'll take this film over all those.
Well, that's
Just me.
fine.
Just me.
I might take it over Backdraft. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Okay.
an easier film to love just
For
because
sure.
it's an underdog story plus a sports story.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
All right,
what's
so
your 3?
that was your 4. My
Yeah.
3 is Find Me Guilty.
Oh, the Vin Diesel one.
The Vin Diesel.
Nice, dude. Good choice.
Someone tweeted at the two of us and was like, "Hey, who has?" It was after that Versus discussion,
Mm.
I believe it was, and they were like, Vin Diesel or The Rock," and I was like, as much as I don't like a lot of what Vin Diesel does, he's got some on his resume that I think are pretty fucking excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas The Rock, I think is overall he's actually a better actor, but he just hasn't put out anything worth a shit.
I don't think I've seen, other than Snitch, I think is what it's called. I don't see The Rock. I've never seen The Rock do anything remotely close to what Vin does in Find Me Guilty. That's for sure.
I don't. It's such a great. The charm.
Mhm.
I've never seen him do this again.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's so
Good point.
weird. It's like Matthew Broderick as Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
It's like you were never cool again, and somehow
Yep.
you were the epitome of cool. And like in this, dude, you have nothing but charm as this mobster that's defending himself in a room full. Like they're all getting taken down with one RICO case, got lumped in together, and I think it's all. If you've never seen it, it's obviously based on New York crime family stuff. It's a true story. Go watch it. I don't want to spoil it. It is Vin Diesel, quite possibly at his best. Quite possibly. There's nothing really to spoil because you know exactly where it's going to go ultimately.
Right.
But I want you to kind of go in with fresh eyes and low expectations because I think it's just. I watched it on DVD and I was like, "The fuck is this?"
Yeah, I mean, this was a big deal because a lot of people made fun of him for trying to do this movie and play this kind of character because they wanted to basically put Vin Diesel in this action movie star,
Yeah, he was Pitch
lunkhead
Black.
box. Yeah, Pitch Black and stuff. They didn't want to see him try to do something like this. And he fought really, really hard to get this done and to be the person who is the lead and, put the hair on and do the whole thing. And, I think he did an excellent job, So that's your 3. So then my 3 is Catch Me If You Can, which we've talked about a million times. I don't know much more I could add to it.
Yeah, it made it on my other list.
Yeah.
I got an idea of your top 2.
Probably. All right, go ahead. What's your 2?
My number 2, my deuce, is W.
W is on my honorable
Honorables?
mentions. Almost made it. Oh, it was so close, dude. So close.
The weird thing is, so I don't think it got the love because people here in town thought it was going to be a hit job on Bush, and they were gearing up for a hit job on Bush.
Yeah.
And people then on the other side want nothing but a love story of the guy. And it's not that either. I think it's some of Oliver Stone's actual best directing where unvarnished kind of gives you an essence of who this person was.
Yeah.
And in no way is trying to make him look any dumber than he actually is or any smarter than he actually is, any more compassionate or less compassionate. I think it is an honest take on George W. Bush.
Right.
And I surprised the number of times I've watched it.
It's a really, really well done movie, man. And of course we found out later Oliver Stone kind of has been leaning more conservative as he's gotten older, and maybe this was the beginning of that a little bit here. But you're right; it's a very even-handed story. And listen, I like that. I don't want to see films like The Contender or other films that like portray one side as super bad and we're super good.
The other one's all altruistic.
Right. In my own life, it's my own feelings. But on the screen, I like to have balance and complexity and nuance in these characters. That makes them interesting to watch. So if I'm going to spend 2 hours in a movie theater and spend money, I want to see fleshed out characters that challenge me to like them or not like them, or hear their logic and process it and try to figure out if I am on their side against my own better judgment. And that's fascinating to watch. And I think W does that. Josh Brolin delivers an incredible performance. Elizabeth Banks has never been better in a drama than she was in this movie. I forget who else plays the other characters, but all of it works so well.
To take something that was ridiculed, the I'm the decider.
Right.
We knew about Bush, and it just sounded like a child. But to see it in the context of the movie of how it built to that and was born out of frustration and standing up to Cheney and his father. In essence, even though his father isn't there, but all these guys are his father's guys, Rumsfeld and Cheney. And it's like he surrounded himself with his father's cronies. Right. So when he stands up to him, he's standing up to his father, like asserting himself and being his own man. Yeah. And what was previously easy to mock, once you see the journey of the individual, at least in this movie, you can understand why he would boil it down like I can't put into words my frustration that has led up to this. Yeah. And putting my foot down. And it makes a lot more sense. Yeah. It's helped me kind of shape the perspective that I've put on him since then.
Well, I mean, the Obamas are legitimate friends with them, man. So that tells you that, whatever he did and whatever your issues may have been with him, and I had some when he was certainly president.
So did I.
There is more to the man than you think. Mm-hmm. And clearly the stuff that we didn't like was probably more from the Cheney side of things than it was the George W. Bush side of things. Doesn't take him off the hook, but it's certainly, when you watch this movie, it's a whole nother way to kind of approach this thing. And it's an incredible cast. Jeffrey Wright, Tandy Newton, Richard Dreyfuss plays Cheney, and Elizabeth Banks, like I mentioned earlier. There's a number of Toby Jones playing. I thought Toby Jones was great as Karl Rove.
I know, it was just the perfect Karl Rove.
Yeah, man. Just the way the confidence with which he slid into every scene and the condescension. Yeah. Oh, man.
But when he just sides up to him and knowing this guy has the goods, and if I can just craft the message, I can make you president of the United States. Yeah. And it's so weird. Like, you see that, I genuinely believe that he is Christian. He very well could be the most Christian president.
Yeah. Quite possible.
Of my life. You can make a case for Barack.
Yeah. Sure.
But outside of that, it's like this dude, I genuinely believed that which he was talking about, which is rare in politics.
True. Very true.
As opposed to just pandering for the votes.
Yeah.
It's a game of politics, man. It's what they do. They pander all kinds of different ways to get the votes.
Yep.
We all know that about them.
Yep. And no matter who it is, they all do it. So
it may not be that issue specifically. It's something else. Right. It's like watching AOC play whatever that video game is, and it got 400,000.
A couple of.
You think she gives a shit about? Maybe she likes video games, or maybe she is pandering to her future base and being like, I'm still hip and I'm cool and I'm this and whatnot.
Right.
Who knows? Or she's looking at it and be like, they'll be voting in 4 years or 8 years. And I've kind of planted a flag in their head. It's fucking pandering. Even if you like the person, it's still pandering.
It's true.
Anyway, W is great. And it's my number 2.
All right. My number 2 is Almost Famous.
Okay. Solid choice.
Yeah. I actually went back again and watched it a few months ago, and I just was like, this is as good as I remember it being. And it's like this time capsule film This is Kate Hudson before she becomes Kate Hudson. This is one of the greatest Philip Seymour Hoffman character performances before he starts becoming a lead.
Okay.
And Patrick Fugit is fantastic. Frances McDormand is great. And this is Zooey Deschanel before she becomes Zooey Deschanel. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a great snapshot of so many good actors just before Anna Paquin, just before they kind of roll into this. And with Paquin, obviously, it's a second life as an actress into True Blood and what have you.
Yeah.
But you're seeing so many great. And Jason Lee is so damn good. Billy Crudup before Billy starts to do these more mature roles and like Prefontaine and all that. So you're seeing a great snapshot. Plus, it's a revisit of that time in the 70s. For those of us who grew up at a certain time, like that rock and roll 70s is great to revisit and walk back into and all that was going on there.
That was so long before I was born. I don't know what that was like.
Okay, guy. Okay. But the scene in the plane is brilliant, and juxtapose that with the scene in the bus, which is so, moving. All of it, just this journey of what he's experiencing. And that's Cameron Crowe's real life story of when he got assigned to do as a young kid. Yeah, to do a Rolling Stone piece on this group that I think it was Zeppelin or one of these other groups that he was, or Cream. It was one of these groups he was following. Yeah, and so when you watch the movie, it's just a snapshot. To me, it just feels like a snapshot before all this other stuff starts happening in the world of films. But this is just something that stands out on its own, and it's one of the last best Cameron Crowe films. A lot of people argue it's his greatest film. So,
I mean, it's his last. Because then you're talking about what Vanilla Sky. It's all right.
I think Vanilla Sky is watchable, but it's nowhere near as good as his other stuff. Yeah, I agree.
What was that one with Susan Sarandon and
Elizabethtown?
Orlando Bloom. Yeah, Elizabethtown.
Yeah, Elizabethtown.
Never saw it. I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, me too. I've never seen it. We bought a zoo. Woof. Aloha. Woof.
Yeah. Although I do like casting 2 white actors in the part of Native Hawaiian. I do support that. So long as we can get more of that.
Yeah, right. Because it's basically an almost famous Jerry Maguire and Say Anything. Singles I can take or leave. Vanilla Sky. Singles,
but it's a time capsule.
Right, it is, right, of the 90s grunge era.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, that was my 2. What's your 1?
My number 1 is Rescue Dawn. The Werner Herzog.
Oh shit!
Christian Bale.
Right, the POW one. Right. Okay.
They're in what, Cambodia?
Yeah.
And they get stuck behind enemy lines, and it's him and Steve Zahn and what's his name? That skittish actor that's really thin and lanky. He plays the boyfriend love interest in Secretary to Maggie Gyllenhaal. He plays
DJ Qualls?
No, it's not DJ Qualls, but someone of that kind of body type. Okay. Shit, what is his name? He's a great actor.
Was he in Lost? Was it
yes.
Jeremy something? Oh,
yeah, it starts with an S, doesn't it? I can't pull it.
What's his name? Damn it. Yep. Because he was on, Jeremy Davies. Jeremy Davies.
Yep. Damn it, it wasn't an S. I thought it was an S.
Yeah. Well, it ends in an S. So.
I got a 1 in 26 chance of getting this right. So thankfully, last names are longer than a letter.
Dude, I forgot he was in Secretary. Totally forgot he was in Secretary.
Yeah, he's the sheepish little boyfriend. Then she meets the man that is James Spader.
James Spader.
Dusts him off to the side. But he plays the guy that doesn't want it. It's like the Brooks not wanting to leave the prison because he's institutionalized.
Wow. Right.
He doesn't want to leave because it's just like, well, we get food here, even though it's a little bit. And where are we going to run to? They have guns. We're never going to make it out.
Right.
And I mean, Christian Bale and Steve Zahn are so out of their mind from exhaustion and malnutrition and stress and everything else that you would go through in that situation. And they get out, and it's just everything they have to go through to get through the jungle is already, it's another barrier on top of this. It's like Star Trek fucking, what is that, 6? It's Rurapente.
Yeah, Rurapente, yeah.
It's the Siberia of, it's fine if you make it off. Good luck actually getting out of here.
Right.
The thing about Alcatraz, you may get off, but the water is so consistently cold, plus the current is so fast that you're going to drown. So good luck. And now what is that real estate worth? I mean, billions.
Right.
They should probably just tear down the prison at this point. But it's part of our past. Be like, it's a fucking prison. I understand what you're saying, but
right.
You got a hell of a homeless problem up there in San Francisco. Maybe we open up some this available housing over here.
Put some
turn Alcatraz into some chic loft condos. Sell those fucking things. The Al Capone suite goes for $10 million.
Yeah, let's make it happen. I love it. Cool.
Yeah. So Rescue Dawn, Werner Herzog showing more range than almost any other kind of artistic person.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Okay. All right. I've never seen it, so at some point I'm probably going to have to watch that thing.
Oh, you've never seen Rescue Dawn?
I haven't. But
totally.
I think because I love Werner Herzog, so it's one of those holes in his resume.
Totally awesome.
Okay. All right. Schedule that one too. My number one is Zodiac, which we've talked about a million times. So there's nothing new I can add to that or Matt.
Okay. I thought Zodiac was in the guessing for top 2. It's my number 1 on my other list.
Ah, yeah.
So I'm happy to put it number 1 on the overall list.
Okay. Yeah. So there's our separate list. Let's compile this thing.
Why not?
Yeah.
The assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Yeah, because that's not necessarily based on true events in my mind, because yes, he was killed, but it's more of a fantastical retelling of it that isn't really based on any actual fact other than he did shoot him and kill him. So what they create isn't necessarily, but yeah, dude, I struggled hard with that one. But I just, in the end, I was like, man, it's not really based on true events. It's based on one true event. All right, I'm going to grab the bongos real quick. I forgot to grab them.
Oh, Zodiac has got to be our number 1. I would say Frost Nixon would probably be our number 2 because it was 2 on my honest list and it ends up at his like number 4 type of thing. So we shall see momentarily. We shall see. So I say Zodiac 1.
Yep.
And then Frost Nixon 2 because it was 2 on my honest list. And where is it, like 3 or 4 on yours?
5 on my list.
Yeah. 5. Okay. So
I'm cool with that.
That puts it higher. And if you want to go Cinderella Man next.
Sure.
And then my number 1, Rescue Dawn.
Sure. I have Catch Me If You Can at number 3.
All right. Oh, priority.
Yeah.
I have my 2W.
Okay. That's fine.
What's your next highest?
Frost. Oh, we put Frost in.
Yep.
So if we put Zodiac, Almost Famous, Catch Me If You Can at number 3, Cinderella Man, Frost Nixon, are those all in?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Black Hawk Down at 6 is my next highest.
All right. So you Find Me Guilty at 4.
Okay.
No, pardon me, at 3. And then I got Wonderland at 4.
Okay.
And then I got my 5 of Bronson.
Okay. Does that round us out?
And then we have one more left. What was your 6 again? I'm sorry.
Black Hawk Down.
That versus I'll give you Black Hawk. That makes more sense. Black Hawk Down. Okay. Done and done. And Angela will be reading your list in just a second.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. The top 10 films based on a true story from 2000 to 2009. Yeah. All right. Here we go. At number 10.
Black Hawk Down.
At number 9.
Bronson.
At number 8.
Wonderland.
At number 7.
Find Me Guilty.
At number 6.
W.
At number 5.
Catch Me If You Can.
At number 4,
Rescue Dawn.
at number 3,
Cinderella Man.
at number 2,
Frost Nixon
at number 1.
is Zodiac.
There it is, the number 1 film, Zodiac. Pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty cool stuff. All right, what's Angela's list?
Angela says, thank you for all the great content, and I'm so excited that you chose one of my topics. Much harder than it seems to figure out which goes where on the list. Very true. Torn between what I watch again over and over and what movies I think are well executed but don't watch all the time.
Welcome to our
show.
life every week.
Props to you guys for doing this every week. There you go. You always make my day a little brighter when I listen to you. Love that I can support your show. Thank you very much, Angela. And her number 10 is The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Good for you.
Oh, nice.
9 is Miss Potter.
Oh, yes.
8 is Valkyrie. 7 is We Are Marshall. 6 is A Beautiful Mind. 5 is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Right. 4 is Walk the Line. 3 is Miracle. 2 is Finding Neverland. And number 1 is Cinderella Man.
Oh, Cinderella. There it is. Yes. Cinderella Man. Nice. Good choice, Angela Dasher. Nice stuff. I got to run in 5 minutes. Do we have time to do shout-outs, or can we push into next week?
Yeah, we'll save it since you got a heart out right now.
Okay. Sorry, everybody who's listening. We will definitely do the shout-outs next week. This is on me, not on Matt. It's on me. I have to do something else. But definitely we'll do the shout-outs to everyone who supports our show next week.
And for those that are on Instagram, if you want to, Bobby Carney is killing it on Instagram for us as well as on Twitter. Just the best. And so if you want to go over there and follow us over there and check out what he's doing on Instagram, it's at the Top 10 Podcast with the number 10. So hit us up over there and watch that. And then for Golden Ticket people, let's see, by the time you're hearing this one, we'll have 1 week left. And then the first round is done. And we're going to take 2 weeks off as we kind of figure out everybody's schedules and start recording and all that jazz again. So we'll take a 2-week hiatus, it looks like right now, from Golden Ticket, and then we'll be right back at it for round 2, getting that much closer to having them on. And you can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost. Check out Settle the Score anywhere you listen to podcasts. And that's it for me, man.
Cool. You can check me out at The Roca Says on Twitter and Instagram, as you see down below there. Don't forget our Patreon, as Matt was stating earlier, patreon.com/the-top10. The number there. Go and see the multiple tiers. Go be part of Topic Thunder. Go be part of Golden Ticket the next time we roll around with it. And, of course, enjoy all the content we're doing here on the show. And if you're listening to us on the podcast feed, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, the Top 10 YouTube channel, so you can see our pretty little faces talking about all this stuff and bring you some more smiles to your day for sure. And if you want, please come over to my YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/John Roca Says, and come and enjoy all the stuff I got going on in the world there as well. All right, that's it from us. Thank you all so much for listening or watching this week's The Top 10 Show. We'll talk to you next time.